What I will do is I will start with introductions and then we will go to apologies after that. So I'll start off. Iskander Jeffries, Chair of the committee. As you know, I am the Cabinet Member for Culture, Leisure, Public Protection, Democracy, and really looking forward to this project as it goes forward.
Shall I go next? I'm Abby Thomas. I'm the Assistant Director for Communities and Policy at Bracknell Forest Council.
Kevin Gibbs, on this Exec Director for Communities.
Rajesh Sinha, Program Manager, Bracknell Forest Council.
I'll go. Sheila Collins, Ward Councillor for Binfield North and Warfield West.
Adrian Hafji, also Ward Councillor for Binfield North and Warfield West.
Jason Moore, Parish Clerk at Warfield Parish Council.
Go ahead, Gareth. Ian, you may want to jump in.
See,
Ian or Gareth, can you hear us?
Yeah, Ian's off mute. Gareth is off mute as well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
I'm Ian McCracken. I'm a Warfield Parish Councillor.
Yeah, thank you. I think that was acceptable. We kind of got both of them at the same time there. So I will ask Abby, are there any apologies?
Apologies from Councillor John Harrison, Ward Councillor.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 2 is review the minutes of the last meeting, which was held on the 5th of March, and any action points arising from that.
So in terms of the action points from the last set of minutes, all of those action points have been completed, and updates on a number of the items in relation to the procurement and the appropriation and timetable are featured on the agenda this morning. Just to update on one item which is not specifically on the agenda, and that's the partnership agreement with Warfield Parish Council and the Borough Council. So that partnership agreement has been signed and completed since the last meeting. So just draw your attention to that, which is very positive.
Excellent. Thank you, Abby. Councillor Collins.
Thank you. Is there any update on the conflict of interest between steering group members and Bracknell Forest Council Planning Committee, please?
Yes, I had sent an email following last time's meeting to update everybody. The borough solicitors advised that there could be seen as a conflict of interest, so the steering group members shouldn't be part of the decision making of the planning process.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
I'm happy to resend that email after the meeting.
But all other actions have been completed, Chair, so unless there is any points of accuracy that councillors want to raise in relation to the minutes, the actions are completed.
If there's no objections to the minutes, then we will take those, Abby, as a correct record. Any objections? No. Thank you. Moving on to item number 3, which is a stage update. And I'm going to ask the program manager to introduce that. I'm taking that's going to be...
Yes, Thank you.
Rajesh.
Right, so we have 2 items on the agenda, appropriation process and procurement. I'll take the first, appropriation process. Following a public consultation in January and February, the notices were published, due process was followed, and there were no comments received by the council from the consultation process. A report was written on back of the consultations, and the decision was made on 4th of July in favor of the recommendation to appropriate the land for Prairie Field. That has been recorded on the portal and is available in the public domain. Any questions? Okay, I'll move to the procurement. We commenced open market procurement under the new Procurement Act 2023 in April. And that is currently underway. So we are still in the procurement process. Generally, the timetable published in the ITT is being met in broad terms, and we have received a good number of responses, but I cannot really get into the detail of it because it's an active procurement, and we're not supposed to sort of discuss that at this point in time.
Thank you, Rajesh. Any questions from anyone? I suppose, except for the procurement update. Any questions on the appropriation process? No. Rajesh, if you can take us through item number 4, which is the timetable, which is the item is outline project timetable, please.
Thank you. Right. As distributed, that we're generally on track with a very tight timetable. There's very little headroom in this timetable, as discussed at the last meeting, which is enabling us to meet the delivery timetable for completion in April 2027. And currently in that process, we are at the procurement stage, which is what I just mentioned. We are actively evaluating the bids received, and are hopeful to be in a position to recommend a decision by end of the month. And following that, we would be appointing a contractor and his design team to do a 2-stage design process with potential planning application submission in October of 2025, with aim to achieve planning permission by January 2026. We will then complete the financials on it to do a works contract, which should commence broadly in February 2026. And the works will take approximately a year, so we are aiming to complete the build project by April 2027. We're trying to stay as closely aligned to this timetable, but it is important to recognize there's very little to none headroom, and any slippage will impact the timetable overall.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from anyone? Yeah, Councillor Hafaji.
Yeah, I was wondering what the biggest worry is about the timetable. Where's our biggest threat?
There are still a number of unknown variables. Mainly, it's around third parties. For example, we have utilities that need to be provided. They are a staple issue in any project where you have, especially on greenfield sites, where utility companies have to bring their cabling for electrical connection, water connections, things like that. That can always lead to delays. We have the third party around neighboring works, which are the roundabout works and the access road. That remains at risk. and we are in dialogue with the developer there on a fortnightly basis to try and understand their program and how we can work together in terms of getting them to site, but also whilst they're on site, how we can work as neighborly relations. That's another key risk in that sense. There are many other third-party risks, that is on the risk register. We'll go through that later in the session.
Okay, thanks.
Abby?
Yep. I'm just wondering, Rajesh, whether you can talk about the REBA Stage 3 detailed design process and how that will work in parallel with engagement with consultees for the planning process to ensure that we're able to achieve submitting planning application in October. So sequencing those and aligning them.
Yeah, so I think broadly that timetable is very tight, from awarding the contract to the contract and design team and submitting a planning application in October. It's very much a straight line approach, can be done, has been done, but doesn't allow for much deviation. In that, we have planned a public consultation prior to submitting a planning application so that we can incorporate any feedback that is relevant and implementable into the planning application. That helps reduce the risk of planning challenges and also helps promote the scheme with the community. So we'll be trying to do that. An exact date and week is not available right now. That will be decided once we have a contract on board. But around middle September would be somewhere where we would be planning to do that, subject to change. And then once the plan application has been submitted, we do plan to continue for the design so that we can track that in terms of price certainty and works contract in by end of January, February, which is what our current timetable is based on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Over to WPC Clark, Jason.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was probably just important just to remind people that the reason why we've got this date in April is our target is because the parish council is due to vacate and give up the Brownlow Hall in May 2027. So to avoid the parish council being homeless and also to avoid a period of time when there were no limited community facilities available in Warfield, it was important to try and hit that target date of April or into May, because that's the point at which it becomes an issue in terms of community provision within Warfield.
Thank you. Any further input from anybody else or questions? Okay. I'd like item number 5. We will end there, and I'd like to declare the meeting closed with the recording. If everybody could please stay on until Abby has notified that the recording has stopped. Thank you.